What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a book summary AI agent by creating a simple workflow in N8N. Let's get started. To create our book summary AI agent in N8N, here we're going to add a trigger. I'm going to choose an on-form submission trigger. Here, we're going to add the title, description, and elements to our form. Now, I've gone ahead and added the title, description, and elements to our form. So the form title is on the lines of AI book summary request form. The description is on the lines of upload your book or document below, and our AI agent will read, summarize, and email you the key takeaways all automatically. And here we're adding various field names for form element. So the first field name is on the lines of what is your full name? Element type, we're choosing text. This field will be required. The other field name is on the lines of what is the best email address to send you the summary? Email type, we're choosing email. The other field name is the book, where we're going to upload the book that we'd like to summarize over here. So field name is book. Element type is file, where we're going to upload the PDF of the book. This field will be required. Here we're going to leave it as empty to allow all file types. The other field name is on the lines of how detailed would you like your summary to be? Element type, I'm choosing drop down and adding these options right here. For example, short summary, detailed summary, or comprehensive analysis as our options right here. Then I've renamed the button label to summarize my book. Here, I'll click on execute step to fill out our form and upload our book. So here, I'll click on execute step. Here, we're going to add our full name, our email address. You're also going to upload our book. So I'll click on choose file and upload our book right here. So this will be our book over here. And then how detailed would you like the summary? You can say detailed summary, 3 to 5 pages right here. And then here I'll click on summarize my book to submit our form. You can see that our form was submitted right here. Now in our form, you can see we captured our data right here that we just submitted via our form. So we captured the full name, email address, the name of the book, size. You can see it's a very huge book right here. It took a second to submit our form. Here you can see we also captured how detailed we would like to summarize our book. I'll pin this data and use this data to set up our workflow. Now, the next thing that I'll do here is I'll wait for a few seconds. So I'll search for the wait node right here. Click on the wait node. I'm going to wait for, let's say, 5 seconds. Then here, I'll rename this to wait 5 seconds. And then I'll click on rename. And here, I'll execute this node. Here you can see that our node was executed successfully. Now, when I open this node, see we're getting our book right here. So the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to extract our file into text. To do that, here I'll search for the extract node right here, extract from file, and here we'd like to extract text from PDF since we uploaded a PDF right here. So I'll click on this node, put binary data, I'm going to name it to book since it's the name of our field right here, and then I'll click on execute step to extract text from our book. And you can see our node was executed successfully, and we got the entire book right here, the entire text from our book right here. So here you can see the entire text from our book over here. So when you scroll over here, you can see the entire text that is in our book from start to finish right here. Now the next thing that I'm going to do here is we're going to add the condition that the text has to be available. So in case we upload an empty PDF, so to add the condition here, I'm going to search for the if node and click on it. Here you can set up a condition and say that the text has to exist, and here I'll execute step. You can see our output was in the true branch right here. I'm going to click on show data. You can see we're getting the exact same data that is over here. We're getting our text over here. So, but if our output was in the false branch, we'd like to do nothing. So I'll search for the do nothing node right here. But since our output was in the true branch here, we're going to set fields for our submission right here. So here, I'll search for the edit fields node right here. And here, we're going to start by adding the name and email address that we submitted right here. So I'm going to drag these over here. You can name this to full name. You can do the same with our email address right here. You can name this to email address. Another thing I'm going to set is the author. So I'm going to drag this over here and name this to author. The other thing that we're going to add over here is the title of the book, and this to title. And lastly, to add our book text right here. And then here I'll click on execute step to set our fields. You can see that our node was executed successfully, and we set these variables right here. That's amazing. With our text right here, the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to summarize our book using an AI agent. So here, I'll click on AI, then click on AI agent. Here, I'm going to choose to define below and add our prompt over here, and add our prompt and our system message over here. The prompt for AI agent could be on the lines of, you're an expert book analyst and professional summarizer trained to read, understand, and synthesize entire books into clear, structured insights. And then the system message could be on the lines of, your task is to read all provided sections of the book, combine their meaning, and produce a complete, cohesive summary that accurately captures the core ideas, arguments, and tone of the author. And here we are in the book text. The input may come in multiple parts or chunks. Each chunk represents a section of the same book. Read and analyze them as one continuous text and follow the steps below carefully. Number one, we're telling the AI agent to understand the book as a whole, absorb the content from all chunks as one unified manuscript, recognize the main idea, theme, tone, and author's purpose, then identify recurring concepts, arguments, and takeaways across sections. Number two, we're telling the AI agent to extract and organize key information, organize the entire book into a structured, human-readable format, include the following sections in your output. Number one will be the title and author, if available. The other one will be the overview or context, which will be a 2 to 3 paragraph overview of what the book is about, its purpose, and its scope. The other section is the core idea and key concepts section, where we are listing the most important ideas, principles, or message. We're also telling the AI agent, format each idea as a short, bolded heading, followed by a 1 to 2 sentence explanation. The other section is the deep insights and themes section, where in this section we like to summarize underlying themes, philosophies, or insights the author is conveying. I also like to explain why they matter or how they connect across chapters. The other section is the actionable takeaways or lessons. In this section, we like to provide a concise list of practical lessons, strategies, or principles readers can apply. If the book is fiction, summarize character development, symbolism, and emotional impact instead. The other section is the notable examples, stories, or quotes. Here, we like to highlight 2 to 4 memorable moments, metaphors, or quotes that illustrate the author's ideas. The other section is final summary paragraph section, where we like to end with a single, well-written paragraph that captures the essence of the book, its big picture message, and why it matters. Next, we like to maintain style and accuracy. Here, we like to preserve the author's tone and avoid personal opinions or speculations. We're also telling the AI agent to keep it concise yet rich, aim for clarity, flow, and completeness. We also like to use bullet points, subheadings, and white space to make it easy to scan. And here we're outlining formatting guidelines. So we're telling the AI agent to output your summary in plain text using the structure below. So here we like to output the title, author, and the author name, the overview, which will be 2 to 3 paragraphs. And here we like to output the core ideas, key insights and themes, actionable takeaways, and notable examples or quotes, and final summary over here. For the system behavior, we're telling the AI agent, if you detect that the text represents only part of the book, still generate the best possible summary from available information, clearly noting missing context. And then we are concluding the message by saying, your final answer should be cohesive, readable, and insightful book summary. Not just a list of bullet points, but a condensed version that reads like a narrative, review written by a skilled human summarizer. Here, I require a specific output format, and then I'll click on the output parser here, and here I'll click on structured output parser. So we can add this JSON example of our output. What is this JSON here? We like to output the document title, book title, the formatted summary over here with these sections over here. So I'll drag this at the top over here. We're also going to add a chart model. I'm going to use OpenAI chart model right here. Here, you'll need to create a credential by clicking on create a new credential. Then from your OpenAI API, add your API key right here and click on save to create your credential. Since I had already done that, I'm going to choose my credential right here. And then here I'm going to choose our model. You can choose any of these models right here. But I'm going to stick with GPT 4.1 mini over here. Then I'll drag this at the top over here. And the last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add a memory. I'm going to choose a simple memory. And here I'll choose to define below and add the key over here. For the key, I'm going to add, when we submitted our form over here, is our key. And then I'll drag this to the top over here. Our AI agent to summarize our book over here. To summarize our book, I'll click on execute step right here. You can see it's executing our node. Let's give it a second for it to complete executing our node and summarize our book. Here, you can see that our node was executed successfully and successfully summarized our book over here. As you can see, we got a comprehensive summary of our book. So here, we outputted the document title, the book title, the author, the formatted summary, summary depth, file, and when we generated the summary over here. Okay, you can see the comprehensive summary that we just summarized using our AI agent. It is incredible. Here, I renamed this node to book summary AI agent and click on rename. Now, to preview our summary, we're going to add the summary to a Google Docs. We'll set the variable for the formatted summary. So here, I'll search for the edit fields node over here. And here, I'll map these over here. Can rename this node to formatted summary. Here, and click on execute step. Our node was executed successfully, and we set the field, the formatted summary field right here. Now, the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to wait a few seconds to add our summary to a Google Docs and send the summary to ourselves via email. So here, I'll search for the wait node, and here, I'm going to rename this to wait 3 seconds. And here, I'll rename this to wait 3 seconds. And click on rename. Here, I'll execute this node also. You can see our node was executed successfully. Now here, we're going to now proceed to add our summary to a Google Docs. I'll search for Google Docs. Click on Google Docs. And here, we're going to start by creating a document in Google Docs right here. Here, you'll need to create your credential by clicking on create a new credential right here. Then from your Google API, add your client ID and client secrets right here. And then on the new window that pops up, choose the account that you'd like to connect to anytime. Then after doing that, your connection will be created. Since I had already done that, I'm going to close this right here. And then here, I'm going to choose my drive and choose the folder that I would like to store our summary, which is, I'm going to choose my folder right here. And then for the title, we can add the title of our book. Here, I'll map the title over here and say by, and then map the author over here. So that will be the title of our document. And then here, I'll click on execute step to create our document. You can see our node was executed successfully. Here, I'll rename this to create a book summary document. And then here, I'll click on rename. Now, the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to update the document with the summary that we just generated using this AI agent. So I'll search for Google Docs again and click on Google Docs. Here, I'll click on update a document node. And then here, we're going to map the ID of our document that we just created right here. And then here, we're going to map the summary that we set over here. So I'll map it over here. And then now here, I'll click on execute step to update our document with the summary. Our node was executed successfully. Here, so I renamed this node to update the book summary document. And then here, I'll click on rename right here. The thing that we're going to do here is we're going to send ourselves this book summary document via email. I'll search for Gmail and click on Gmail. And here, I'll click on send a message node right here. The subject line of this email could be on the lines of your AI book summary is ready. Email type, I'm going to choose text. And the body of our email could be on the lines of hi name, your book summary is ready. Our AI book summary agent has processed your request and condensed the book. And here we are in the title of our book. Into a structured, easy to digest document, highlighting the key ideas, insights, and actionable takeaways. You can access your summary right here. And here we're adding a documents Google Docs link, then mapping the ID of our document right here, which is this ID over here. Here's what's included: a concise overview of the book's main ideas, core insights and key themes, actionable lessons you can apply immediately, and notable quotes and examples. If you'd like us to summarize another book, you can submit it anytime using the same form. Best AI book summary agent. Here, the last thing that we're going to do here is I'll click on the add options right here and click on the append anytime attribution. Here I'm going to turn these two off, and then I'll click on execute step right here to send our book summary to ourselves via email. You can see our node was executed successfully right here. Here I'll rename this node to send book summary. Then here I'll click on rename. Now the last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add our form submission, or formatted summary, and our book summary document to a database in your table. So in your table, I've created a base that I've renamed to AI book summaries. In this base, I've created a table that I've renamed to summaries. And here is where we're going to add our data. We're going to add the name, email address, book title, the author, the formatted summary, and the document URL over here. So here, I'll delete this record to add a new record right here. So in N8N, I'll search for Airtable right here, then click on Airtable. Then here, we're going to start by I'm going to click on create a record node right here. And here, we're going to start by creating a credential. And then from Airtable, add your access token right here and click on save to create your credential. To get your access token in Airtable, just click on your profile right here, then click on build hub over here. And over here, click on create your token. Here, you'll give it a name and add all these scopes over here. Then here, you'll choose the base that you'd like to access via anything. Then here, click on create a token and then copy the token and come and paste it right here and click on. Then here, I'm going to find our base, which is this base right here. The table will be this table. Then here, we're going to map these values from our workflow to the columns in our table. So for the name, I'm going to map it right here. Same with the email address. So I'm going to map the book title, the author, and the formatted summary over here. Here also going to add our formatted summary document URL. To get the document URL, I'm going to go back to Gmail right here. And here, we're going to copy this link here. So I'll copy it. Then I'll go back to Airtable. Here, I'll click on expression and expand it right here to paste the link that we just copied. Then here, we're going to map with the right ID of our document, which will be this ID right here. So I'll map it over here. And now here, I'll click on execute step to create a record to add our data to a base in Airtable. You can see that our node was executed successfully right here. Yeah, we can I'll rename this node to book summary and click on rename right here. The last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to complete our workflow. So I'll search for the do nothing node right here and click on it. Then here I'll click on execute. I'll execute this node to complete our workflow. You can see that our node was executed successfully. In your table, you can see we created a new record right here. Here we added the name, the email address, the book title, the author of the book, formatted summary that we generated using our AI agent, and the formatted summary document URL right here. So here I'm going to open this link to preview our summary of our book. Now, when you open our book summary document, here you can see the summary that our AI agent generated for us over here for our book. So you're getting the name of the book, the author, getting the overview section of the book right here, the core ideas over here, key insights and theme section right here, actionable takeaways, notable examples or quotes, and the final summary over here. This is incredible. Here. So we summarize this book and added the summary to this document using this workflow that we created right here in N8N. Now, We also sent ourselves a book summary via email. You can see the subject line of the email and the email body over here with a link to the document attached to the email over here. So we are sending ourselves this email after we generated our summary and added the summary to a Google Docs right here. So the link in our email is the link to this document over here. So we generated this summary and sent ourselves a summary via email using this workflow that we created right here in Anychan. Our workflow works perfectly. We are triggering our workflow after submitting the book that we like to summarize here. Then we're waiting a few seconds. Then we're extracting the text from the file that we just uploaded right here using this node. Then if it meets our condition, we are proceeding to set the fields for our form submission right here using this node. Then using this AI agent, we are proceeding to summarize our book. Then here we're setting the field for our summary that we just generated using this AI agent. Then we're waiting a few seconds and creating a document in Google Docs. Then here we're updating the document with the summary that we just generated using this node right here. Then we are sending ourselves the summary via email. This is the email that we are sending to ourselves with the summary document right here. Then we are creating a record in your table with the form submission and formatted summary and the book summary document over here. You can see right here in your table where we are in the name, email address, the book title, author, the formatted summary, and the book summary document URL right here. Using this workflow that we created right here in Anychan. Here we can test our workflow to preview and see how it works. To test our workflow here I'll unpin this data and then I'll click on execute workflow to fill out our form. And then here we're going to fill out our name, now email address right here. Here we're going to choose our book that we like to summarize. I'm going to choose the same book that we summarized earlier. How detailed? We can say detailed summary, 5 pages. And then here I'll click on summarize my book. Submit our form. You can see that our form was submitted right here. Here you can see that our workflow was executed successfully. Now may open this node. You can see we successfully captured our submission right here, captured the full name, email address, the book, and the summary details that we like to generate using our workflow. Then we waited a few seconds, then extracted the text from our book that we just uploaded over here in our form. Then here you can see that it met our conditions. Then we proceeded to set the variables for form submission right here. Then we generated the book summary using this AI agent. And here we set the variable for the summary. Then we waited a few seconds and created a document in Google Docs. Then we updated the document with the book summary that we generated using this AI agent. Then we sent ourselves the summary via email. And then created a record and added the form submission, formatted summary, and the document URL to a base in your table. Now, in your table, you can see we created a new record right here. We added the name, the email address, and we submitted via form, book title, the author of the book, the formatted summary that we generated using our AI agent, and the formatted summary document URL right here. Sent ourselves and the formatted summary document URL via email. So here you can see the subject line of the email and the email body. And here is the link to the document that we added our formatted summary. I'll open this link to preview our book that we just summarized. You can see this formatted summary that we generated of our book right here. Here you can see the name of the book, the author, the overview section of the book, core ideas, the key insights over here, actionable takeaways, notable examples or quotes, and the final summary section over here. So this is an incredible summary that we generated from our book over here. So we generated the summary of our book and sent ourselves the summary of the book via email using this workflow that we created right here in Anyten. So here we are triggering our workflow after we submitted our book via our form. Then we're waiting a few seconds and then extracting the text from our book using this node right here. Here, if the text exists, we're proceeding and setting the variables for form submission right here using this node. Then we're generating the summary of our book using this AI agent. Then here we're setting the field for the summary, which are generated using this AI agent. Then we're waiting a few seconds and then creating a document in Google Docs. Then we are proceeding to update the document with the summary that we generated using this AI agent. Then we're sending ourselves the book summary document via email. In your table, we are creating a record and adding the form submission data, formatted summary, and the book summary document right here. As you can see right here, where we're adding the name, email address, the book title, the author of the book, formatted summary, and this book summary document URL. Now, we're also sending ourselves this document URL via email. As you can see right here, is the subject line of the email, and this is the email body where we're sharing the book summary document right here. And this is the link to this document right here, created in Google Docs, where we added the summary of our book over here. Here we added the title of the book, the author, the overview section, core ideas section, the key insights section, actionable takeaways section, notable examples or quote section, and the final summary section right here. So we generated this book summary, added it to the table, and sent ourselves the book summary via email using this workflow that we created right here in Anyten. Now, if you'd like me to create this workflow for you, or a workflow similar to this one, just click the first link in the description to schedule a call with me. On the call, we'll discuss into details the workflow that you'd like me to create for you. Then I'll proceed to create the workflow for you. But if you enjoyed this video and you have an AI agent or a workflow in mind that you'd like me to create using Anyten, just comment it down below in the comment section. I read all the comments, and if I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to create the entire workflow or AI agent from scratch using Anyten. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.